Yeah, 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 Urko. Hey, 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 look.
Yo, what's up? I go by the name of Steph Urkel, and welcome to another episode of Millennial Dungeon. How's everybody doing this beautiful weekend? Me, it's Friday, so I can't complain. And have our wonderful co-host back, Afro. What's up?
Hey everyone,
How you feeling?
I'm good. It's Friday. There's a week left of this school year. I'm in the home stretch. Like my eyes on the prize right now. I can't even lie.
Okay, your kid's about to be graduated, right?
My eighth graders, yep.
I don't know. You got that them shots ready? You just ready for the sun? Be honest, be honest. You got the liquor ready?
Oh, next weekend it's gonna be lit.
Okay, okay, okay. I'm just checking. You know what I'm saying? So.
No, here's the funny part. They want to know the name of our podcast because they want to be able to follow it and like watch the videos. I'm not telling them,
I don't know.
but it's cute. It's funny.
Um,
Like my eighth graders, they're like, on Monday, because they have their class trip on Monday, will you tell us like the name of your podcast? Because I told them I was not telling them until they were at least graduated.
right. Because they be like, oh, man, Mr. Afro said the F word. They be all right.
I told them I don't cuss. So
Oh, why you lying, huh?
listen, because I try to tell them to use better language at school. So, you
Well, you
know.
about to be cussing this episode. All right, so the topic for this episode, we talking about interrelational relationships. So last week, a story was released of Bronny James, who is LeBron James' oldest son. Crazy basketball player. He's tough. He's probably going to the league. If I'm gonna be honest with you. He went on his senior prom, and people were in uproar because it was a white girl. You know what I'm saying? And it was just like people was just coming at him from left, from right. Mind you, this kid is at 17 years old. People coming at him as like, oh, well, he can't get a black girl, or what they raising him to think like in that household, or LeBron, come get your son. What he doing? And I'm like, y'all is just so bored coming at a 17-year-old. First of all, I know y'all ain't got nothing to do. Like y'all picking on a 17-year-old dude. He not even old enough to get cigarettes, but y'all come at him. It's just like, for what? Just because he dating somebody with a different race. But I just thought it would be an interesting topic because we talked about this before. Like, this is a topic that has been going on forever, and I don't think it will ever stop because there's always going to be people that have something negative to say about this shit. So, the first question I got for you is, what do you think about interracial relations?
So interracial relationships don't bother me. I know like I've talked to guys outside of my race, like I've talked to guys who weren't black before. Um, they don't bother me. I think they're fine. I think it's good. M- people have things in common with each other outside of race, like just because we're black doesn't mean that we have to be together. And just because, I'm black and you're white, or I'm black and you're, Latino, Hispanic, whatever, doesn't mean like we can't have things that we relate to beyond just like our skin color,
Right.
just because those are different. That being said, I just don't like how people try to demonize it sometimes, and I don't like how sometimes people in interracial relationships act toward their own race.
Yeah.
So that's kind of twofold. Like, I don't like how people try to act like it's this huge, big issue, but I
Yeah.
also don't like how people who are sometimes in interracial relationships try to, act like there's something wrong with their race just because they choose to date outside their race.
I get what you're saying, because like I feel the same way. I've always felt the same way. Like, I'm on the fence about it. One side, like, I'm all for, love is love. I feel like you should be with anybody that makes you happy because life is short, you know what I'm saying? And if you attracted to somebody and you vibe together and y'all can connect personality, just go for it. You know what I'm saying? But the other side, I see where people like have their little feelings and have their little complaints about, because sometimes you do see like somebody who dates outside their race, they do it for like a negative reason, or some kind of self-hate reason. So, but I get it.
Or it's a
But
fetish.
Yeah, like a fetish. You know what I'm saying? Because I've even had that happen to me before. We've had this story before. Remember I told you about the story that white girl was like, you know what? Well, she wasn't even white. She was 25% black. But she was just like, you're pretty cute for a dark-skinned black boy. I was like, ugh. You know what I'm saying? It's like, the you make when you walk in the bathroom after somebody just took a shit, you just like, you know what I'm saying? It was just an ugly veil, like, ugh, like why
Right.
you do that? You know what I'm saying? So it's like people do it for fetishy reasons, but like my thing is that's not the majority of a lot of interracial relations, and it's like you said before, a lot of people try to demonize it as if as soon as they see somebody that dates outside a race, that means that they have some kind of self hate for their own race, which is not always the case at all. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I don't know. It's just like, why do you think people are just so obsessed about this? Like now, even in this generation, like why do people you
I
think
don't
people care?
People are more obsessed with it. I think honestly it's become a lot more common. It's
All right.
become a lot more acceptable, but just because it's more acceptable does not mean that it's accepted by everyone. Like
Mm.
I know people who when I was younger, they were like really anti like dating outside their race, um, all that type of stuff. But as they've gotten older, they're like, love is love, it's cool, it's whatever, you know. Um, but I do think, you know, I do think fetishizing it is more common than what we would like to think. I
Yeah.
don't think it's everyone. I won't even say it's half, but I don't think it's so uncommon either. Um, if that makes sense. Just
Yeah.
because I know I've seen a lot of, and it's just an easy example. Obviously, it's not everyone, but I know I've seen a lot of white women, for example, who like to date black men, which is perfectly fine, but their reasons for dating black men aren't necessarily just because oh I have interest in them. There's a lot of stereotypes about black men when it comes to like sex, um and just other things.
Mm.
And so
We was right here. You know what the fuck it is. You know what's going on.
but and I think it's common, and I'm sure actually I can give you a good example. I was on
Yeah.
Tinder once upon a time, um and you know Tinder is very like my Tinder was very white, um and I swipe, they swipe, whatever. And on multiple occasions I had white men try to say, oh, my beautiful chocolate queen, who they didn't even get me, like, I didn't even get a chance to say my name. We didn't have even a conversation. We didn't, nothing. And you bring my race into it. That's weird. It's creepy. It does not make me interested in you. And it makes me feel like a fetish. Like, you're saying it because let me, you know, like, I don't know what to say to her because she's black. So let me make the first couple comments to her be about being black. It doesn't
Right.
work that way. That's
Yeah.
not cute,
No.
And I know I had that on multiple occasions. Um, if I were to re-download Tinder right now, which I'm not gonna do, um, I could find those messages and read like at least 6 of them to you. And I think a lot of people date black men or are interested in black women due to fetishes. Like, oh, the stereotypes about black men when it comes to like sex, or like, black women in their butts, in their breasts and all that type of stuff. And
Brother.
so I don't like that. And those are typically the people who try to say, oh, it's a preference. And no,
It's weird as
it's
shit.
given bias, it's given prejudice, it's giving
Yeah.
creepy, it's giving go someplace, like mature, grow up, do some soul searching. That's how I feel about it, at least.
You know what I'm saying? But my thing is this, like, I get what you're saying too, because it's real weird. Like, I don't like when I hear a white girl say like, "Oh, my chocolate, man, Becky, I have a chocolate man."
Why are we always food? Why
Yeah,
are we
right.
always food?
First of all, I don't even fucking like chocolate. Don't call me chocolate. You know what I'm saying? One girl, I remember one girl I talked to, she said Butterfingers. I'm like, first of all, I'm about to hang up this goddamn phone. You know what I'm saying? Don't call me no Butterfingers. You know what I'm saying? But like, I get what you're saying, and it's like when you said the stereotypes about black men having that, you know what, that hammer time, no MC. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's negative stereotypes that come with dating, interracial dating, because obviously we got the positive, oh yeah, black man, we're good at sex and stuff, but also the negative thing of we're expected to have some kind of edge when we black. You know what I'm saying? Because I see like a lot of white girls or people of other colors, like they just expect us to be like, oh well. One time I knew a white girl, right? It was just a group of us. It was like my black friend and like two other white girls, right?
Mhm.
She was like, you know what I'm saying? When we were talking about like our parents and stuff like that, I'm like, yeah, one time me and my dad, and the girl's like, oh. I said, oh what? She was like, oh, you just said your dad. Yeah, I know my fucking dad. Why are you saying oh for? You see what I'm saying? It's
Mhm.
just like,
Exactly.
but
The
you're
bias is
expected to.
crazy.
Yeah,
It's
you know what I'm
crazy.
saying? You're expected to live on both sides of those stereotypes, and it's like you think it's cool because oh yeah, I got the good stereotype because I got that. Now, you know what? But at the same time, it's like you're expected to live up to the negative stereotypes, which is not always the case for us. So it's just like
Right.
that's why it can be annoying when it comes to dating outside your race. But I got a question for you though,
Okay. What's up?
because we were debating about this the other day too. When roll your eyes, what? Okay, so who do you think gets more flack when they date outside their race? Black men or black women?
So I think black women do, but it's
Mm-hmm.
not because I don't think black men do. I think the flack we get is different.
Okay,
I
explain.
think black men typically get flack for it because it's more common. You know, it has been more common. And when I say more common, I just mean you see it more.
Yeah,
Except for on TV, TV on commercials, you see whatever you see. But I feel like in real life, you are more likely to visibly see a black man and a white woman together. So it's just visually more acceptable. At least where I live, it's very common. It might be different down in Philly, but in Erie,
okay. All right,
it's super, super common.
I'm
But
gonna let
it's
you get that
not
point.
nearly as common in Erie for a black woman to be dating a white man
Really?
or to be, if you saw like a black woman with maybe like a Latino, Hispanic, like that would be cool. Um, but that's still not common in Erie either. Like where I live, what I've seen predominantly, and what I see at least on my social media, is often black man, white woman, um, or black man and whatever other race woman. Um, and like I just feel like because we've seen it more, you're more likely to like just be like, okay, cool, it's whatever. Um, except for when that black man uses like the fact that he's dating a white woman to be like, to show his internalized racism towards black women, because not a lot, but enough black men who date white women have that bias, have that internalized issue, I feel like, because they're always talking about what black women don't do or how black women are, etc., as if we're a monolith, as if we all act the same and do the same things, but they never talk about why they particularly like the specific white woman they are with. And if they do, they always use it as a way to diss black women. And that's when I see more black men getting flack for dating outside their race.
Yeah.
Not when, I don't really see a lot, and I know it happens. I see it sometimes, but I don't see it all the time, a lot, when, you see posts of black men with white women. I don't see a lot of negative. There is negative there. I'm not saying it don't exist. I do see some of it, but the scale in which I see it on black women with white men post, crazier.
Now
Uh,
I'm gonna be a little devil's advocate because I'm on side with the man because
you
personally,
always do.
of course, I got to. You know what I'm saying? I got to. But I'm gonna say black men get more flack when it comes to dating outside the race, and let me explain why. Because a lot of people say that black men they're quick to date outside a race and stuff like that but they're only looking at it from the celebrity's point. You get what I'm saying? Because obviously we see a lot of like athletes or actors or movie stars and stuff like that. They date outside their race or they get money. They go and get a white girl or a Latina. You know what I'm saying? Like that. And you do see that. I'm not going to say it's not there. But I think that we get more flack for it on the surface levels when it comes to being an average dude. Because let's be real, those athletes and those actors and stuff like that, they're on a level and status where they don't even care what people say. But when you're
Right.
an average dude that dates outside his race, you're getting flack from not only your own race, but you're also got to worry about her family. going to her parents and stuff like that, and her dad not waiting at the door with a shotgun. Not saying everybody does that. Calm down in the comment section. But you know, you always gotta worry about that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Plus, apart from me, I feel like as black men, like we get more flack for it because like I know plenty of girls that they outside a race, you know, they date like the awkward nerdy white dude or the Ted Koppels or the weatherman type dude. You know, hey, how's it going? How's it going, dude? You know what I'm saying? And then they date them for a little bit. Then and as soon as they finish dating a white dude, they can easily go back to their own race and just get you a Tyrone or somebody, and people just be like, oh, that's cool. But like as a black dude, if you date outside your race and try to go back to under your own race, I'll give you an example. You tell somebody that you was married to a white girl in your family, you be like, oh, or you tell a girl on the first day, oh, like, yeah, I used to be married, or I used to be in a relationship with a white girl. Oh, that's majority. Not to say everybody, but a lot of them feel that way. You know what I'm saying?
I don't agree.
I gotta agree. I'm not to say.
Well, obviously you said it.
Yeah, you know what I mean. You know what I'm saying? But I feel as though like they have some kind of issue with it. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's harder to really get accepted or get accepted into a family when you're a black man into a white family versus like a black girl getting accepted by her husband's family. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, if she's pretty or something like that, I think they'll easily accept her. And plus, let's be real, if she's getting his last name too, they'll come around. But the fact that I'm coming to his daughter's house and then like you telling me you bringing home a black man, he said darker this night, 2 a.m. in the morning, and he's getting your last name. No, you're taking his last name too. Now I'm not feeling this, Becky Lou, but Daddy, I love him. I don't care. No daughter of mine's gonna be dating no, you know what? You know what I'm saying? So it's just like we get that on all sides. I feel as though the thing.
I don't understand why you think that a black woman who dates a white man, their family, the white man's family doesn't potentially have issues with it, or like the black woman's family doesn't potentially have issues with it. Well, that's how you're trying to pose it. Like, oh, just because they're not coming to the door with a shotgun, quote unquote, does not mean there isn't a problem still. And okay, so when black male celebrities date white women, they're never told that, oh, they're a bad role model because of it. They're never told, oh, how do you consider yourself black? They're not told, oh, you shouldn't be doing that job because of it. However, we recently had 2 black women or black and like biracial women on powerful like fronts get those type of comments. When Kamala Harris was running for VP and then got VP, you saw those type of comments because her husband's white. And yes, she's black and Indian, so she's biracial. But, you know, a lot of people view her as black. She views herself as both, whatever. But regardless, I did see lots of comments that are like, well, how is she black if she's dating if she's married to a white man? What type of role model is she? The same thing with the Ketanji Jackson. Like, I watched multiple TikToks where they just were trying to like attack her character as a person and her character as a role model because her husband was white.
Right.
Because of the person she married, which is not the same. Yes, I'm not saying black male celebrities, basketball players, actors don't get heat for it, but the heat is not the same because they're never attacking their character.
Ooh, I gotta disagree, but I'm gonna let you finish that statement because you had something else. But I disagree. But I'll let you finish.
So a lot of it is they attack black women's character for it. And when I see posts about black women, white male, interracial relationships, there's often a lot of negative. It's becoming more acceptable, but it just isn't as visible. At least I, as a black woman who follows a lot of black women who on social media, on TikTok, you know, who like, I don't have male friends. I really don't. I've always just surrounded myself. I have very few male friends. You're in my 5. I have 5.
All right.
I can tell you I have 20 plus women friends.
Okay, makes sense.
And so, but my point being, you do see a lot of flack. You see a lot of black men who attacking them for it, and you do see some black women too. And I'm not saying you're not going to see that on a black man's post or something of that nature, but I think the criticism is different. I think the harshness is different just because it really isn't as accepted, and black women are often viewed as like the pillars of the black community, because we are, but we're expected to be able to hold, like, we are doing black men an injustice. It's viewed almost like we're doing black men an injustice when we date outside of our race, but black men are not held to that same standard.
I think we are. I think it is reversed because, like, I give you a perfect example. Maya Angelou, you obviously you know her, right? Did you know
Yes.
she had 3 white husbands? Did you know that?
I did not actually.
Right. A lot of people didn't know that, and even if she did now, do you think that would discredit her? Probably not. But if
Right.
Martin Luther King Jr. was married to a white woman, do you think that they would discredit him for everything he did,
No.
or they wouldn't come at his? You really think that they wouldn't come at him for being married to
He
a
did
white
not
woman?
marry, but here's the thing. He didn't marry a white woman,
Mm-hmm.
but he did date white women. He did have interest in white women, and it's known. And it's known. And yet,
But married though.
and had affairs with white women while doing what he did. And yet, we ignored that part of his life and that part of his history. I didn't find out about that until college.
But we didn't know about it though. We didn't know he messed around
No,
with
they
white
knew. It was
Yeah,
in the
but we
history.
didn't know about no Maya Angelou. But because you
Right.
know, and I'm gonna tell you why though.
But I'm using that example just to say that I don't think it would discredit his work, because it did happen. He was dating in a time where it was illegal. He was dating white women, having affairs on his wife with white women, and yet most people are unaware of this, and his work is still credited. Maya Angelou, while an amazing poet, thinker, etc., she's not on the same caliber to me as Martin Luther King Jr. She's influential, don't get it twisted.
Okay.
But the levels to it.
But the point I'm trying to make is, well, we never knew about the Maya Angelou being married to the 3 husbands. So the point I was trying to get at is because you said that you feel as though black women receive more flack than black men as far as like dating outside their race, like they don't get accepted. I think it's the reverse because, like I said before, when it comes to black men dating outside their race, I feel as though we get like the hit from all angles. Whereas so black women, even I'm not going to say that black women don't get shit for dating outside their race because I've visually seen it myself. Because when Kamala Harris was running, I saw those comments on Facebook and Instagram. I'm not going to pretend I didn't. With Ketanji Jackson, when she was running, I did see those comments on Facebook as well. But the thing is, when they're in on those certain positions already, people just let it go. You know what I'm saying? Like even when they get to that certain position of power or that certain level, people just like, all right, she's there now. We're just gonna get over it. But when it comes to black men, even when we get to even to the top of the mountain or the top level, people still gonna bring that up. Like I'm pretty sure it's a black man right now got millions of dollars. He probably go home to his family reunion. Hey, how's it going, y'all? How's it going? Still with that white girl? You know what I'm saying? You know, people will always remember that. You know what I'm saying? And it's not.
And you think they forget that about black women though?
Yes. Not to say they don't. Obviously, it becomes amnesia and they just forget about it. But they let it go easier. They just let it go. You know what I'm saying? They give them shit for it, but I feel like when it comes to the black side, like I'll give you a perfect example. When it comes to like black women dating outside their race, right? Say if a black she has a black friend or something, or like another black woman has a problem with dating, interracial dating, right? Do you think she's going to more likely come at the black man for dating outside his race or the black woman for dating outside her race?
Okay, so so you're asking if a black woman saw another black woman with a white man or another black man with a white woman, who's she going to come for?
Yeah.
Both, 100%.
You think
but
both?
I think 100%.
All right,
I don't think it necessarily has to be an either or situation, to be honest. But yeah. I have an example. One of my best friends she's black. She, if you met her, you'd be like, oh, she's a black woman, or you might be like, oh, she's biracial, because technically she is. She is biracial technically. Her dad is biracial, and then her mom is white. But if you met her, she's like my skin complexion, you know. But her daughter's father is white. Um, and my best friend has always dated like white or Puerto Rican guys. That's just what like picks her fancy, which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
But her daughter's grandfather, so the dad's dad, has never met her, does not want to meet her, will not watch her, wants nothing to do with her, and said that when my friend was pregnant with her baby, didn't come to the baby shower like he was supposed to, has done nothing as a grandfather, and it's purely because my friend is Black and has said as such, didn't like when they were dating, really didn't like when they got pregnant, and said as such. You know, basically didn't disown his son, will talk to his son, but basically disowned his granddaughter because her mother is Black. And the funny part is her child is white passing. So, you know, and I see those type of things. And not to say it doesn't happen to Black men, because I know that does too. You know, I have a white friend who dates Black men pretty exclusively and has said, you know, I don't want to raise my kids around my parents because my parents are prejudiced.
Ooh, damn.
You know, like has a real like internal struggle. Like, what am I going to do if I marry a Black man and have children with a Black man, and I know my mom isn't going to treat them right? You know, those are real dilemmas people in interracial relationships have. And I don't want to, you know, downplay anybody's struggle in that respect. But I do think who we see having these things happen to them gives the perception. I know it happens to Black men. I have plenty of cousins who have dated, you know, white women or outside of their race. My little brother, his girlfriend was white. And yeah, maybe there was a little bit of teasing, but everyone accepted it. No one was like, oh, you know, they were just like, how is she doing? Like, it wasn't a big deal.
Yeah. I see where you coming from in that aspect and stuff. I've seen that stuff too. Like I have friends that I had a friend in college where he said when he went to go meet the girl's mom and the grandma, they was quiet the whole time. And he said when he made up an excuse and to leave, and he went to go see her later. She said that he was calling him racial slurs, like why'd you bring that such and such to lunch with us and stuff like that. And I even have a homegirl who's Black and says she went through that stuff too. So it's like I get it. It happens on both sides of the spectrum. But I was just saying, like, I feel as though because I had to understand it for the man's side, it does happen to us. Like I feel like the tease and lasts more. But it brings up another question too, like when it comes to interracial dating too. So it's just like, you know how people try to Disneyfy like interracial relationships to make it seem like, well, love can conquer all, and like as long as y'all love each other, that can overcome anything. Do you really believe that, or you think that's just a myth?
No, I don't think love conquers all. You have to make a choice.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to make a choice, and that's the hard part because there's different types of love. You know, you might have love for your partner, but you also love your mom. So who do you choose? You know, and there are people who are put into that situation. I love my children and I want what's best for them. So that means they don't get to see their grandmother. You know?
Yeah.
So I think it's hard, and it doesn't necessarily conquer all because not everyone's going to accept it. Not everyone is going to love what you love and be okay with it. And that's just a sad reality. I think I think it's getting better. I think it's becoming more common. I think, and the reason why, like I said, where I live, you do not see Black women in interracial relationships very often, especially not with a white man or an Asian man or an Indian man or a Middle Eastern man. It's very rare. You can see them with white men every once in a while, but like I said, it's not common. But I could easily find a Black and white, like a Black man with a white woman, just walking down the street. I might see 5-6 couples.
Yeah.
But
you live in Erie, PA. I'm just going to quickly ask. It's like, is that a small population? Is that why you think that? And because it's like in rural PA, kind of, ain't it?
It's not rural. Don't play us like that.
It's not.
No.
It ain't outside. Like, okay, I'm wrong.
if my hand is the state of PA, I'm up here.
Okay, so y'all the thumb.
Yes, literally. Right into the Finger Lakes. But no, it's like a small city.
All right.
It's not rural. It's a small city. But even when I'm in like bigger cities, and even like I said, my social media, that's not what you really see. And so that's why I say Black women get more flack for it, because it's just now becoming more acceptable. Not that people, becoming more acceptable for Black women to say, you know what, I don't have to just date Black men. It's not my job. I'm supposed to date who interests me, who I like, and who my soul vibes with. And I want that for Black men too. I think there's definitely some battles dating outside your race. And I think you both have to be willing to acknowledge and accept each other's culture and history. I think it's a little different for white people, just because white American culture is different than if you have like Irish culture or Italian culture or whatever. That comes with different layers. But if you're in an interracial relationship and you decide to have kids, you need to do both. You need to balance your children's knowledge of both sides of their family, of their history, because what I see, what has happened up until today, like up to date for a lot of people, is one side gets neglected, and often it's the Black side.
Yeah, and it's kind of hard too, because like when you grow up biracial, like it's kind of hard because you feel like you gotta pick both sides, but it's
right. And people make them feel that way, Black and white.
You know what I'm saying?
Black and whatever.
Because if you grow up around your white side the whole time and stuff and you feel like you never grew up around your Black side, it's like, how can you like get mad at the kid? Because if their Black parent really didn't bring them around, it's not their fault.
Or if their Black parent didn't raise them, wasn't involved in their life.
Yeah, so my thing about interracial relationships, like you said before, it's still some hills we gotta get over, because it's still a lot of things that can be complicated when it comes to interracial relationships. It ain't all sunshine and roses, but it's like
it isn't. And I feel like some of the people who get into interracial relationships take on the viewpoint of, I don't see color, and not seeing color means you don't see patterns and you don't see bias. And then you're not preparing your kids for the real world and able to protect them and help them deal with the difficulties that comes with being interracial or Black, presenting or whatever presenting. You know what I mean?
Would you ever be on that show Wife Swap? You know how they be
yes, I would do it just for fun, but I don't know if they would like me.
Well, they probably would. They'd be
I mean, what's not to like?
He just going right. You know what I'm saying? He gonna whisper in your ear, "My chocolate princess." You know what I'm saying?
Pineapple.
You ain't gonna like that. You ain't gonna like while he pulling your hair. He gonna like that. He said, "My butter pecan apple."
Listen, my uncle, like when I was little, would like compare me like to food things, but it was cute. It was funny. As a grown woman, do not do that. Not as no.
All right. So let me ask you a question then.
Okay, what's up?
Have you ever been in a situation where it's like you were talking to somebody outside your race and they was cool, but it was something about them culturally that is like kind of then like seal the deal, and you was like, no, I can't do it?
I don't know if it was a cultural issue, but I once was talking to a guy who was like Indian, and I just felt like he was too pushy, and that's a huge turnoff for me. Like, don't be pushy. There's a difference between like applying pressure when it's mutual and just being like pushy and like trying to take things too fast, too far, too quick. But I don't think it was a cultural thing. I think it might have been because I don't associate with a lot. Like, I haven't talked to a lot of like Indian guys. I don't know a lot of Indian people. I know a couple,
Yeah.
But it definitely like might have been a little bit of a cultural, when we first started talking, he started talking about like things like marriage.
Yeah.
Not necessarily to me, but just like marriage. And then he wanted, like, we've been talking for 30 seconds and you already want us to meet up. Like, no, thank you.
After 30 seconds?
And I'm just not with that. Like, that's a huge, listen, I'm glad I have a boyfriend now, because online dating is trash. Finding people in person is trash. I got very lucky.
Yeah.
Like, listen, and I played the long game for it, but I won out, so it's cool.
Well, I was gonna say, one time a white girl told me she never saw Friday. I don't think I'll text her back. I ain't shit. I know. I ain't shit. I know. But if you don't know, I'm gonna. You don't know. Come on, man. And I think she was like this. I think she was like, "What's Friday?" She was like,
most white people don't know who Felicia actually is.
Oh yeah, because she was like, "Oh, is that the one that like, bye, Felicia?" Yeah, I do know that, and I was like, "I know you do. You know what I'm saying?"
Right.
But no, see, for me, I think it's not even about culture. Because me, like, at the end of the day, I grew up around black women, so like black women are my first preference. And plus, it's like I need that culture like connection versus I need that black woman to understand my struggle as a black man. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I get what you're saying.
I'm not to say other races can't be like sympathetic, but a black woman is going to be empathetic. You get what I'm saying?
No, I get what you're saying. And also, like, dating a white woman versus dating like a person of color versus dating a black person is going to be different, you know?
Yeah.
So if it's a person of color, they're still going to understand maybe like the struggle, the oppression, you know, different things, but they're not going to understand it in the same manner as probably a black woman would.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm
but at least they have some cultural base to go off of, you know, living in America.
Yeah. And like, I'm gonna need you to know what Friday is. Just to let you know, I'm gonna need you to know what Friday is.
Listen, next you're gonna say they need to know how to play spades.
Well, shit, I don't know how to play spades. Shit.
I know you don't.
You know how to play spades?
My white coworker friend does. I don't know how to play spades. No.
Or ours.
My mom knows how, but she didn't teach us.
Oh yeah, my mom didn't teach me either. I had to watch, but I still don't know how to play. Shit didn't get too heated. Idea. But like, it do. But I guess for me, it's like I said, I'm on the fence because like at the end of the day, I believe love is love, but I also see like the drama that comes with it. But at the end of the day, I believe that you should be with somebody that's going to make you happy as long as it's for the right reasons. Because I think subconsciously, a lot of people date outside of their race not knowing it's for some kind of bad reason or like some kind of self-hate. You know what I'm saying? But it's like if you're going to date outside your race, just do it for the right reasons. If you want that white girl, you know what I'm saying, that get that pumpkin latte at Starbucks, you go for that white girl that get that pumpkin latte at Starbucks. If you want them Hispanic girl that put you on the bomb Mexican places or the bomb restaurants, you go for that Mexican girl. You know what I'm saying? Just do it for the right reasons. You don't gotta advertise it. You know what I'm saying? And that's for like men and women.
Don't do it for the stereotype.
Yeah.
Don't do it for the clout. Don't do it for the fetish.
Yeah.
Regardless of your race, I agree. And I do realize like where you grow up and who you grow up around influences your interests, influences your preferences. Yeah. You know, like I know when I was a kid, and you know how like when you're a kid you have like little crushes and stuff. Like I often had crushes on white guys and stuff because I grew up in predominantly white spaces. Like I was always one of the few black people. Like growing up, like the school I went to from 3rd to 8th grade, I don't think we ever had more than 4 black kids in my class. Actually, when I graduated, I think it was just, there was 4 of us, 2 other girls and a boy. So, I didn't, like my family's black. I was around my family, but you don't have a crush on your family members. That's weird.
Oh, that's another episode.
Right, that's a whole other topic. But, and so it wasn't ever that I didn't like black men. It was just I wasn't around black boys.
Yeah.
To have an interest in them. And then in my high school, it still was predominantly white. And like, it just wasn't, the people I was around. But then I went to college and I said, okay.
You saw that chocolate. You know what I'm saying? You feel like, look, you feel like Charlie when he went to the Willy Wonka on Chocolate Factory for the first time. You just start singing, "Come with me."
Fact, we went to Clarion. Let's be real. There were not that many black men either. But like I said,
but you still got that little experience. You saw more chocolate than
You're not wrong. Yeah. I did go, that is the side I prefer. But I'm open to dating whoever. I really am. Like whoever interests me. Funny thing, my boyfriend, his grandmother is white. Okay. His mom is biracial. His dad is black. But guess what? You wouldn't, if you saw him, you never would think that his grandmother was white.
Okay. Hey,
he's a dark-skinned black man. You would never have not a guess. And his grandma's the one who raised him. His grandma and then his
differences like growing up culturally since his white grandma raised him.
No, because he says his grandma's hood. So.
Okay.
and he'll say she's ghetto. So like, and not that ghetto is synonymous with black, but
That's a BT special waiting to happen. Okay, he
right,
need to work
right.
on writing that.
No, I like his grandma though. She definitely but she was raised around black people. Like her neighbor, like his mom's dad, his
Yeah,
grandfather was his grandma's neighbor. You know, they grew up together. They were in the same friends, and she's always just exclusively dated black men. You know, and she was growing up. She was born in the 1950s. She was growing up in the 70s, so I'm sure that was difficult. And I know her family has some things to say about it. So, you know, people have been doing it for a long time. The times are progressing slowly but surely, but there's still a fight for it, and
yeah.
you have to want it for the right reasons.
Exactly. Just do it for the right reasons. And another thing too, if you was a date outside your race and stuff, don't come to your family and friends and hold it up in honor like you just won like the Super Bowl or like a NBA championship. Because
Right.
I had a friend back when I was in high school that he told me he dated a Puerto Rican chick, and he was bragging like he just won a championship in Game 7. I was like, man, what you gonna do with your championship? You know, it was a rough quarter, you know, but sooner or later, I got that Puerto Rican chick. I got that Spanish chick. You know, I want to thank God. I want to thank my family. I want to thank you for giving me that Spanish ass. Please, thank you. And it's like, bro, relax. You know what I'm saying? It's like he was so excited for what? It's like, it's nothing to really like glorify. Like, be with who you want to be with, but just do it because you want to do it, not because you see it as a fetish. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
And I'm
right,
pretty sure it's black women that do the same thing too. But it's just
right,
like, just do it for the right reasons. Like, if that person makes you happy, just do it.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Who cares?
Don't do it for the clout.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And like Cole off of
We
Martin
don't do
said,
everything for clout.
like, I don't know if you watched Martin, but as an episode, Cole said this: we all black when the lights go out. So there it is. You know what I'm saying? Just do what you gotta do. That's all I got to say about that. Well, you got anything?
No. Oh, also leave those kids alone. Let them go to prom. Let them go to the dance
Yeah.
with whoever they want. They could have just been friends. And regardless, you like who you're around. She probably was a really nice girl. Don't do that to them.
Exactly.
Let these kids have fun. Find some business.
Exactly. Stop being nosy. And plus, she probably got a good deal at Starbucks on a little card. So who cares?
Listen,
But with that being
stop
said,
acting like black girls don't get Starbucks too. Like black people. Like, listen, I got the app. I got my points. I can get a free drink, a free cup. Don't play.
I probably can name like 5 times I've been to Starbucks. 5.
All of them at Clarion, I'm sure.
Right.
Oh.
But with that being said, I go by the name of Steph Urkel, and
I'm Imari, also known as Afropuff.
this has been another episode of the Millennial Dungeon. Peace.
Yeah. Urkel.